What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about even more new content that got revealed, some big updates from Infinity Ward, plus some bonus patch notes. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comment section. Have you guys had any major crashing issues here for Season 2? I have a couple of buddies and some other folks out there that I saw on Twitter that are getting instant crashing upon booting up over on PS5, and even other strange download issues for Season 2's patch on platforms like PC and even some Xboxes. I know it was confirmed that Infinity Ward is aware of the issue with the game crashing upon startup for many players, and they are working on a fix. Supposedly fixes have rolled out for this problem, but still some people out there are continuously experiencing these problems, and it just doesn't really make much sense because it's the start of a brand new season. It's been well over 24 hours since the launch, so I can't even imagine how it feels right now to not be able to even try out some of the new content for multiplayer, Warzone, even DMZ. Let me know how you guys are doing with stability down below in the comment section. Now, Infinity Ward did put out some bonus patch notes that you guys may have missed if you don't use Twitter, as they went ahead and said, fix the crash issue that could occur at game client start as we continue to prioritize further fixes, fix an issue where Season 1 Battle Pass tokens that were not auto-spent and had rolled over into Season 2 were not showing in the UI, fix an issue that caused players to lose the ability to move after reviving a down squad member, fix Riot Shield view distortion, fix tablet misalignment for kill streaks and heartbeat sensors, also fixed an issue that prevented armor plates from automatically filling the active loadout slot until the player manually equipped one first, then fixed an issue where mouse and keyboard players could not remove certain blueprint attachments over in the gunsmith, but lastly fixed some problems where DMZ operators were holding invisible weapons when no weapon was equipped, and lastly fixed certain weapon misalignment when previewing. Now, as I was editing, they also tweeted that they recently released an update that addresses an issue causing some players to be kicked for inactivity in ranked play, and they also found a problem in Infected where players could only get shotgun loadouts. I know I experienced that one, but then they also said they began to roll out a fix yesterday to address persistent camo progression issues with polyatomic impacting a specific group of players. That process should complete in the next 12 hours, and players can expect to see that issue resolved. They're also investigating reports of unusual AI combatant behavior, including increased damage at range and large numbers of reinforcements in DMZ, and that's kind of funny because they did mention they nerfed the AI across the board for Al Mazrah, Building 21, and Ashika Island, but the AI actually feels buffed in certain areas, as you guys probably saw on stream when I was playing yesterday, or in my video covering the new weapon cases for Ashika Island. The AI could still be a little unfair, so luckily they are investigating what could possibly be something wrong with the AI itself that definitely needs some improving. Now, because of all the craziness that was going on with the preload, the new content, even some patch notes, secret features, I didn't get a chance to talk about this just yet, but if you guys don't use Twitter, you probably also missed this. Call of Duty out of nowhere went ahead and tweeted the following: Season 2 is almost live and there's even more on the way. Here's a taste of what's next. They've never done this before, by the way. This is the first time they've revealed content that's months away from launching. Season 2 Reloaded, new core 6v6 multiplayer map, new raid episode, which we knew, and then new multiplayer modes. I wonder if that's referring to modes that aren't these party ones that we see on the current roadmap. That's a big question mark. But then Season 3 and beyond, well, as people have been asking for, Gunfight, Plunder, and even Warzone rank. Let's go through those one by one. So as they went ahead and revealed also through the Season 2 patch notes that you guys may not have read unless you saw my previous video, they were fairly lengthy, but towards the very bottom of those patch notes, they posted a full HD image of a brand new and original multiplayer map coming to Modern Warfare 2. So as they said, the Infinity Ward multiplayer team has decided to move the map up as it's already playtesting well and tracking ahead of schedule. Stay tuned for more details on this core 6v6 map as we get closer. So that actually means something a little concerning that you might not have thought about, and that's the fact that Season 2 Reloaded wasn't going to have a new map at all. It's a map that apparently is done already and was tracked for probably Season 3, but now is releasing early, so that would have meant that we would have gone 5 to 6 plus months without any new original maps in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. You know, if Season 1 had at least one new multiplayer map, I could have maybe understood them saying, alright, let's not do any original multiplayer maps for Season 2, let's do Gunfight instead with a bunch of new areas. But no, Season 1 had Shipman Shoe House, Season 2 has a bunch of areas from Al Mazrah that were already in the game, no new multiplayer map. So luckily this map does look beautiful. It's unclear as to where this takes place, but does this also mean that Season 3 will only have one new multiplayer map added to the game? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that season at least has 2 original maps as well, alongside Gunfight, which will bring forth a bunch of original locations, or at least a bunch of new spaces fitted for just 2v2, whether they're from Al Mazrah or not. That's at least something that's somewhat fresh and something that we haven't really seen, even though it might just be, again, areas that are already in the game itself through other game modes. who knows what's going to happen here, but multiplayer getting the short end of the stick is not something I'm a fan of, and I'm happy to get any multiplayer news that I'm sure you guys are also really excited about. Now, what's really interesting is that a good 2 months ago, a bunch of icons leaked out for upcoming game modes in COD 2.0, and those icons did include Infected, Gun Game, then Gunfight, and Plunder. So once they confirmed that Infected and Gun Game were going to be available right away in Season 2, I figured, well, hey, if the icons for Gunfight and Plunder also leaked out, those have to be Season 2 modes, right? But no, they're actually for Season 3 as confirmed in the Call of Duty marketing here. So with that in mind, those modes have been in development for quite some time and are finally going to drop. Again, Gunfight will have its own set of maps, hopefully a good 4 to 5 on day 1, and it's also confirmed that more Gunfight maps will be added throughout future seasons. That's good, but Plunder is also a mode that I think will really make Warzone 2 feel like it's back to the roots of what Warzone is all about. Having BR, having Resurgence, having Plunder, and then DMZ being this big like expansion, spin-off type of standalone mode that uses the same map, that'll really make Warzone 2 feel like it is in a new era and is a true sequel to what we had in Warzone 1 for 3 full years. But leaderboards for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer are obviously live, and with leaderboards for each game mode, we do see a mode there called Rugby, and that's a mode that hasn't been mentioned at all anywhere. It hasn't been leaked by any of the usual suspects online, but since their original tweet does say Season 2 Reloaded is bringing a new multiplayer mode, I just have to assume that that might stand for Rugby, because the other modes that we're getting, the party game modes, are not new at all. I mean, technically they're new for this game, but they're not new modes that we haven't seen before. So I wonder if that's the case here. Leave your best bets down below in the comments what you think Rugby actually is. But something else also happened, which I know you guys might have also been confused about, and that is a private phone call with developers that happened last week with, I believe, 100 or so creators. Charlie Intel put out a good breakdown of what was discussed during that phone call, which I find really interesting. There's actually a lot of information here that you might find exciting depending on which game mode you like the most. Now, they said we're going to be seeing a new map, raid, weapon, and limited time events. We obviously know about the map, raid, and weapon, but what is that limited time event? I wonder if Rugby is something to do with that, or if that's just a new mode we're going to see randomly added to the multiplayer. It's a bit unknown. We obviously have an events tab live in COD 2.0 right now, so we'll hopefully end up seeing at least a new event every new season or every other season. We'll have to wait and see how that works, but I wonder how that'll be separate from the Path to the Ronin challenges, which currently allow you to do 3 challenges out of 7. After doing all 7, the next, 2-ish weeks, we'll be able to unlock the crossbow for both game modes. Now, with that, they also mentioned Treyarch is the one working on ranked play for Warzone 2.0. The team that is building multiplayer ranked is also developing a Warzone 2 ranked that will launch in an upcoming season. No specific date yet. Also notice how the original tweet says Season 3 and beyond, so maybe Warzone 2 ranked isn't even for Season 3, but Season 4. But the fact Treyarch's working on that has me really intrigued, because ranked for multiplayer has been very well received thus far, and Treyarch are the GOAT, so no doubt in my mind they'll do a really good job with the Warzone side of things there. For Ashika Island, when playing on DMZ, the overall atmosphere of the map is slightly adjusted to be more foggier than normal BR. I like that, giving each map its own identity, or each game mode its own identity, even if they use the same map. Gotta love that. Infinity Ward also confirmed during a call last week that they are working on a 1v1 specific Gulag map for Warzone 2 for an upcoming season. For Season 2, though, it's just the same map adjusted for 1v1. Could be a hint that in a future season, like 3 or 4, we'll end up seeing a new BR map entirely, like the Leak Las Almas map, and then that map will obviously have its own new original Gulag, but they don't want to reveal that just yet, so they're just going to say and tease that they have a new Gulag in the works. But I wouldn't really see how a new Gulag map would come to Ashika Island or even Al Mazrah, but they did do that quite a bit during Verdansk 84 and Caldera's runs, so yeah, we could end up seeing a new Gulag added. It takes place in other areas of these existing maps. Now, they've also teased that some sort of one-shot sniper rifle mode is coming to the game, and they have stated they are not currently planning to make it one-shot for all game modes. So that's also cool for those out there that love these sniper type of LTMs that were in multiplayer or Warzone in previous Call of Duty iterations. Definitely some good news all around for those out there that want to see some actual new modes. I wonder if that's also the quote-unquote new mode we're going to be seeing in Season 2 Reloaded or Season 3, or if it's going to be later than that. But they also said that High Moon has confirmed during a call that Ashika Island has a variety of Easter eggs that players will find. Some Easter eggs will be added in as the season progresses. And also, High Moon Studio Castle in Ashika is not Castle from Vanguard or World at War. It's just a new location on this map with some looks that throw back to the old one, and the underground area is directly below the castle. So I do like the fact they're launching the map with some Easter eggs on the same scale as Fortune's Keep, some fun things to find and figure out for the BR or Resurgence part of things, but then they'll be adding in more throughout future updates, which will keep the map alive, keep the stakes high, you know, just increase content and replayability overall. Absolutely love that, but I also do acknowledge the fact that, yeah, all the rumors about Castle from Vanguard returning were false from the get-go. Everybody just made that up, whoever did, and, you know, hey, I played around the idea of it, even though I said, you know what, guys, we just saw that map last year in Vanguard, and obviously I've only seen the map in 2 games total, but they wouldn't bring that map out again, would they? And what happened with Dome? That exact thing happened, right? Where it came back after just being out in Vanguard less than a year ago. So that's a bit silly, but hey, it is what it is. Infinity Ward also said during a call that they had a prototype of a Gulag where every player is thrown into a mosh pit to fight, and if one player opened a certain door, all players would respawn back in immediately. They decided against using this in game though. They also stated that they thought 2v2 was super interesting, but the randomness of matchmaking causes every player's experience to be very different, and it hurts players who were good teamed up with bad players, so 1v1 it is. Now there were some funny replies on this tweet which were like, instead of doing actual original multiplayer content, they were worried about some type of weird Gulag like this. And I found those replies funny because that idea sounds interesting, but I think would have been even more poorly received than the current 2v2 Gulag that we saw. So with that, I think just keep it at 1v1, and if you want to do some crazy LTMs to Warzone Battle Royale in the future, then experiment with cool new Gulags and ideas that shouldn't be in regular BR though. That's what I would say about that. And in terms of how random 2v2s are, it relies too much on the proximity chat feature, which is cool and whatnot, but for those that don't have mics, or for those that just want to be a-holes, that's just never going to really work out, and you end up in a gunfight situation in nearly every single Gulag. So at that point, might as well just keep it at 1v1 and save the 2v2 for multiplayer, which Gunfight is about to be involved with. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the brand new content that got teased for future updates? How are you feeling about the bonus patch notes and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.